Today we're presenting on Don Stanton and his business Tanglewood Gardens. Tanglewood Gardens operates in the agriculture industry, specifically producing premium fertilizer. The business was founded and is currently run entirely by Don Stanton himself. In this presentation, we'll walk through Don's current situation and analyze the strengths and challenges of his business, and then recommend a strategy for how Tanglewood Gardens can grow sustainably while maintaining its high quality product. To start with the current situation, Don Stanton is the founder and sole employee of Tanglewood Gardens. He originally received a $25,000 scholarship, which helped him get the business off the ground. His target customers are mainly professional landscapers and nurseries, and one important point is that he currently faces no direct competition in his region. Don is known for producing a very high quality fertilizer, largely because he controls every step of the process himself. His main raw materials is horse manure, which is inexpensive and easily accessible. However, despite strong demand, the business has limited growth because Don's production capacity is restricted by time, labor, and the slow nature of his production process. He is now considering opening a new facility to expand. Go. Looking at the SWOT analysis, we can clearly see why Tanglewood Gardens has become as successful as it has, but also why it's reaching its limits. Starting with strengths, Don has completely taken over quality control since he's the only employee. The business relies on essentially one key resource, and he places a strong emphasis on trust and long-term relationships with customers. In terms of weaknesses, production capacity is extremely limited. The fertilizer takes a long time to produce, and the business depends entirely on one person, which creates risks and burnout. For opportunities, Don could build a new facility closer to a reliable source of raw material and also hire employees to help scale production. Finally, the main threats include demand growing faster than production capacity, and the risk that competitors enter the market in prime locations before Don is able to expand. Go. All of this can lead to the central issue of the case. Don Stanton wants to grow and expand Tanglewood Gardens to meet rising demand for his premium fertilizer, but his production process is extremely slow, taking roughly 6 to 8 years from start to finish. Expanding capacity would require significant investment, new facilities, and potentially hiring employees, all of which introduce risk. The key question becomes, how can Don scale his business to meet demand while maintaining quality and minimizing risk?
Okay, then we have some of our strategic alternatives that we think would help him in his business. So first, grow by hiring new employees, grow by opening new facility, and grow by finding more raw material. So these things will help because then it's not just him by himself. He'll have some backup and other people to help him with any issues that are to come, and more raw material or other places that'll help speed up the process too if he has it imported from more than just one facility. Then some pros and cons. Pros for profitability, his key ingredient is free, so he's not having to pay for a lot of the production of it, and higher margins. Growth potential, a lot of room for growth and huge growth potential. And then risks, no risk equals no loss. Some of his cons, however, are he needs to increase output, growth potential untested because he's never expanded, and the risk is that he's never expanded, so there's always a risk in the expansion, but there's also a great chance that with expansion that there'll be a more positive outcome than negative.
For our recommended strategy, it centers on building a strong team and ensuring everyone can do their best work. Firstly, we suggest bringing in lots of new team members. This will help spread out the work and give us more resources. Then we need to focus on training these new employees properly. This is super important so that everything we do continues to meet our high standards. Finally, to prevent anyone to feeling like very overwhelmed, and to make sure we're not too reliant on a single person, we'll work to reduce burnout and share responsibilities more evenly. By following these steps, we can foster a healthier and great work environment to create a strong foundation to produce very great growth in our business. So for our action plan, First, we're going to focus on things that we can do right away. This includes telling landscapers and gardening businesses about what we offer. We'll start advertising so that they know we are not and what we sell. At the same time, we're going to make our fertilizer production better and faster. This means we'll be able to make more of it quicker. Looking further ahead, we have big plans. We want to be able to make even more fertilizer than we do now. To do that, we need new equipment and facilities. We also want to work with the local plant stores and landscapers in the area. We believe that by following this plan, we can reach more customers, make more products, and even be more successful in the long run. So to help with that, our tracking and control, we will keep track of three main things to see how well the business is doing. First, the money we make, our revenue. Our goal is to grow this by 20% each in 1 year. Next, we will watch how much that market we have, aiming to get 15% of this in 3 years. The third thing is customer happiness. It's what we will ask our customers for their opinions through surveys and feedback to make sure that they like our fertilizer and service. But if sales don't grow by at least 5% for 2 quarters in a row, that's a sign we need to check what's wrong. Also, if we aren't better at making the fertilizer faster or cheaper, that means we have a problem to fix. And by watching these things closely, we can make changes quickly and keep the business moving in the right direction. Thank you, and thanks for listening.